Set the stage first. This is my first recording for my first packaged online course. Okay? So I'm going to be speaking into my computer, so I won't be speaking to you directly. Initially, I'm going to do a just brief intro with me at the camera, just looking at the camera, and then I'll take my seat and start my course presentation. But imagine yourself being someone who just purchased my class. So imagine thinking, as I'm speaking, did I make the right choice? Am I excited enough to carry through? They say online courses, many people don't finish an online course that they sign up for. My voice, since I won't be seeing you directly and I won't have my face on the picture, just consider how I use my voice. Is it engaging enough? It could be, or it could be refined.
So will you be on video or just recording?
I'm just going to record the slides without video.
Okay, so but when I'm taking the course from you, will I see you?
You'll see me like I'm going to do an initial video
Okay.
to like introduce the module
Okay.
and the course, and I'll just be showing the slides while I converse.
Okay, so it's probably best for us not to look at you while we're
Right, so
Okay.
be looking at the screen. Imagine you're home looking at
Okay.
your computer screen. I don't know if you've just seen the Mr. Rogers movie.
Yes.
It's wonderful. He talks about how he was all about having kids be protected what they saw, but he talked about the screen between a child, the TV screen, and what he had to present on TV. He considered it holy ground. So in a way, picture yourself as being part of that process of sharing in something that can make a difference in the world.
A quick question. Be quiet. No clapping.
Actually,
no, yeah.
yes. If you,
I need to hear that.
Thank you very much. To be quiet, and plus, if these guys start to do the windows, so you can shoo them away. Because I'm going to see if I can repurpose this and maybe actually have it as my first recording, because I'm recording it in Camtasia directly. So we'll see. It could be good practice, or it could actually be repurposed for them.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the camera, or just stand right here.
Kevin, we're recording?
I record.
Okay.
Let's press my record here. Okay. Welcome everyone. I am so glad you've been interested to sign up for this course and look to engage yourself in this course. To me, this work has been a process of a lifetime of seeing how important it is for all of us to learn how to better master our stress. And as we do that, then world changes can happen. So let's consider that as we present. So here we go. Course intent. Now the intent of our stress mastering course is for you to better master your stress. As we do, like I'm sure, just think to yourself today what may have happened, or this morning, or during the day. Like, how many times have you been challenged so far today? So think about that and realize that for all of us, there needs to be a better handling of stress. And as we do that, we can experience greater health. And be able to provide more for your world spiritually, mentally, physically, socially, and financially. Now, spiritually, in terms of we can encourage individuals to uplift their spirits. Mentally, we may be able to share some education we've had that may be a benefit to someone. Physically, we're maybe strong enough to help them move. Socially, we may include individuals who may feel a little isolated or feel like they don't belong. And financially, we look to offer our available means to help projects or endeavors that we'd like to see facilitated on the face of the earth. This course includes tools to relieve and master your stress. We'll be going over things to help you in the moment learn how to handle your stress better. And I call it mastering your stress. Tools to use your stress for growth and transformation. I don't know if you ever thought about that, but the stresses you have, lots of times I found in my own life that you want to push stress away. You want to basically put it aside, but when we do that, you know what happens, it just keeps coming back. So my tagline has become, address your stress, address our stress in a healthy way. And I can speak from experience being a practitioner for the past 30 years that many, many health conditions are related to stress. personally speaking, I've had my own bouts with inflammatory bowel disease and colon cancer, and I realized that addressing stress is so central to allow for a healing process to occur, but also to prevent conditions from developing. Support. Now we have planned live group online sessions, so I'll look to plan on a monthly basis how we can actually share in a discussion where if you have questions or if you have comments or if you want to affirm our agreement in terms of better mastering our stress for ourselves and ultimately for greater influence to be extended into the world. And I've set up a private stress mastering Facebook group page that I'd welcome your invitation to join that and to participate in that. And I find that to be very helpful to add some support to this course. Okay. Stress mastering sessions. Why and how to practice HeartMath. So there's 3 central things I'm going to go over. So first one is, I found using the tools provided by the HeartMath Institute allows for a way of seeing how to master those stresses in the moment, but also how to set the stage for your personal resilience so you're ready to handle the challenges that come along. And HeartMath is a great system, so I'm looking to share the things I've learned about it, the things that I found that be helpful to work in that respect with you all during these sessions. Essentials of nutrition for mastering stress. Now I also realize as a health practitioner that if we're properly nourished, if our bodies are properly given what they need, then it really allows for a stage, a foundation to be set for us to feel healthier. And if we're feeling healthier, it's going to help us handle our stresses better. And lastly, actualizing your innate potential influence. Now, the end aim of this course is to realize that we all have a unique, innate, in chiropractic we use the term innate. We all have an innate influence that needs to be extended into the world. Each one of us has a part to play, but a lot of times it's just potential. It needs to be actualized, and I've found that if we do handle our stresses better and we're properly nourished, it helps set the stage for that to happen. Your stress mastering course. First session, stress mastering big picture overview. Module 2, why HeartMath. Module 3, practicing coherence, practicing staying in balance. Module 4, decision making and raising your baseline coherence. Another name for this module I've called the process of knowing, of positioning our consciousness in a way where we can make decisions where we feel assured with. Module 5, Essentials of Nutrition for Stress Mastering. So this module will be entirely devoted towards that topic. And Module 6, Actualizing Your Influential Fulfillment. So this gives reason to continue through the course because Module 6 really is the capstone of the course. So you want to really continue through so you get to have a greater awareness of what it takes for your own personal influential fulfillment. Whole health standards of presence packed. Now with stress can throw us off. However, if we keep these things in mind, it can be helpful to carry through, not only with this course, but to carry through with your life, to actually do what we're looking to intend to do through this. So pledging this to our hearts. So right now you may want to put your hand over your heart and say to yourself, I pledge myself to remember my health and fulfillment is leveraged by how I handle the stresses in my life. My health and fulfillment is leveraged by how I handle the stresses in my life. I pledge myself to remember, as I better handle the stresses in my life, this in turn helps to influence others to better handle the stresses in their life. You know, I don't know if you're married or in a relationship, if you notice that when you are stressed and your partner may be stressed, you know, that doesn't work too well in a relationship. So if you recognize, if you're not even in a close relationship, that if you are handling your stresses better, to take note how that helps to influence others. I pledge myself to remember, because of my integrity, to be centered on offering a healthy, coherent influence into the world. Healthy, transformative processes can occur for all humanity, as well as all the earth and beyond. That is the capstone of this course, to realize we all have an influence, and if we're individually extending a healthy, coherent influence, that's going to allow for world transformation to occur. So join me with this, join in with me in this process, and let's continue through to completion beyond even this course, so that we actualize our individual innate potential. Let's get started. Okay.
You got it all down there, Steve?
Okay.
You like Dr. Steve or Steve?
Either one.
Either one? Okay. Well, first of all, kudos to you for venturing into the online territory. It's really where things are going now. That's how virtual learners want to learn. So fabulous. And so on the positives, great content. I know you're an expert. The credibility is there. That was pretty obvious. So now I'm going to get, I'm kind of tough, so I should, so just be warned, somebody described me as having a lot of candor. I thought that might have been a euphemism for, she is not going to fool around, but I know that's how I grow.
It's all good. It's a safe place.
We got Tom Nixon here also.
Yes.
Yeah, Tom and I are in the same wavelength, and David Greenberg, and I come from New York, so it's kind of hard to.
I'm from New Jersey.
You can take it, baby. All right. So, and I take this from the perspective of having given over the last years a number of online courses and been watching where it's going. So, where the shift is now is in didactic versus engagement. So the question is, this to me is very didactic. So you brought up the great point about the research that says that participation drops very quickly. You're talking millennials, you're talking just any of us sitting at our desks. We're going to start multitasking if we're not immediately engaged. Same as an online, a live speech. We're going to start taking out our phone. So how do we get them engaged? So it really, for me, it's at the get-go, at the beginning. Again, just like our live speech. So how about starting with a question? You know, how many of you have had, 50%, you kind of had 50% stress today, or have had 5 things that happened to you that stressed you, or something. You can frame the question. And then it's great now to use technology with polls. So you can do a quick poll. Or you can just ask the question to get them out there. You can also start with a why, quick why. I like to do the what, why, where, how, and make sure you had a lot of the what. So first of all, why am I talking to you? Second of all, why should I listen? As the participant, you have me signing a pact, but I'm not really even on board yet. So why should I listen? So this is why you need to listen. Does that make sense?
Sure.
In the beginning? So how else do you get them engaged? It's through the slides. Now, I once heard Roger Corville, who's an expert, who's a member of NSA, and he said, you have to put so many more slides than you would in a regular presentation. And you had a good number of them. I would bump it up, but it's not so much the quantity. It's, Tom Nixon was here, right? Some of you heard him. And I have Tom do all my slides. Photographs. So a lot of that narrative should be, I know when you feel online they need to get it, and maybe reduce it, you don't reduce it as much as you would in a live speech, but those pictures are going to get people. Cartoons, you gotta have some, you might have a cartoon or so. So that's the main, I think the main thing I would say also, was there anything else here? Consider posing the objectives as questions. Again, just a quick engagement technique. A lot of times I'll say, do you know an introverted leader or what something, or that kind of thing. Or what is you mentioned a phrase of a type of concept. I forgot it. What was it called? The model?
Coherence.
No, it's not coherence. It's another, I say. So what is blah, blah, blah? So I'm thinking, what is a couple of us probably thought, what is that term?
Heart math?
Yeah.
What is heart math?
Yeah. What is that?
That's exactly what I
okay,
thought.
so I'll shut up. Let the rest of the guys talk.
No,
No, just go.
I think I'm pretty much.
This is great.
Does that help?
Yeah. This course is This is actually the first overview for folks who've already purchased the class, so the selling is out.
Yeah, it's selling, but they're not gonna stay on. If you're just
Okay,
gonna
got
give
it.
them like at school. Here's like, to me, it's like the faculty member going, oh, we're not gonna have class today. Any of us ever had this in college? Well, here's the syllabus. You can go home and we'll start class on Tuesday. That's not what I want. I want a taste of this. I want you to make it exciting. I want another story in there. That's what I would like from you. I mean, you don't have to talk about the IBS thing. I mean, I would probably bring that up in the first one, but, you know, something about stress and just what happened to you and why, how that, you know, so give them a quick tool in the beginning. They're not going to remember all these objectives you got here. We're looking at it from our standpoint, not from the learner. So that's what I would do. You could sort of like put one slide at the end saying, here's what we're covering next time, or what we do sometimes is we'll put a diagram, you know, if you want to have graphic there. Like, have people look at it. So how many classes is it?
6.
Okay, so 6, you just have a title of what each one is. Because you will have people there that want the structure. You want to know where are we going.
Yeah.
So by the end of this, you're going to have so many tools. You know, so I liked at the end you said something, let's go, but let's even put more. So let's go. Your voice is it. When you're online, you got to ramp it up even more. Again, so hopefully that helps. And I'm happy to talk with you offline because I love online. People hate
Wonderful,
it.
Jennifer. Very good.
I think it's a great way to deliver content. So that's me.
So I spot on with the feedback, and I even put down, remind me why I'm here. And I know you said that the selling is already done.
Yeah.
The reality is all they've done is giving you money, but you have to sell them in that first one. You got to remind me of why, because now you're selling me on why I should spend my time. I've spent my money. My time's going to cost me too, right? So think about those concepts that came up for you in the selling part, and figure out how you can weave that through. I thought, you know, the intro and the includes, those things are really important. But I started to kind of zone out at some point. So any way you can tighten that up, I think is going to be good. And I love the idea of starting it with a story. Just kind of figuring out something that's going to get me emotionally involved or connected with why I'm here. And then the other thing is, if you're going to have the words on the slides,
Okay.
I don't even know how to say this. I don't like reading for the slides. I like having a conversation, whether it's presenting or in an online course. And even though you gave an explanation, like you read word for word
Yes.
the bullet point,
Right.
I think I would figure out either how to shorten those bullet points so they're not full sentences, or something else that gives you a allows you to just do the explanation. So that's, I don't have a lot of detail to share with you on that.
Maybe a picture would help with that.
A picture, yeah, I think the slides, and it might be worth it at some point when you feel like this is financially at the right place.
Right.
It might be worth it to
Sure.
look at somebody like Tom
Absolutely.
too.
Yeah.
I think that's good for me.
I'll go next. I really liked how your modules, but one thing to think about, I'm not sure this is the answer or not, but why not incorporate the intro with the discussion of the different modules? And the reason why I'm saying is that you had your intro and then you went through essentially the same material again when you discussed what you were going to be covering in each of the modules.
Yeah.
I think that could be compressed.
Compress, take that slide.
I would just go ahead and, a lot of what you had in the intros, I would get to the description of the modules a lot quicker, and then a lot of the information that you cover in that, what is presently your intro, to cover in the discussion of what's to come.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that'll take some of that redundancy, out of there. I may jump around here a little bit here, but overall, I love the way the modules are set up in the content. The third point on the pact was very confusing to me. That's either something that needs to be condensed or made more clear or something along that line. But I had to read that like 3 times, and then I lost you. And unfortunately, it was the last thing that you had covered. And if that is going to be the central theme of your course, then it really needs to be as short as a tagline.
Okay, good.
Okay, because you want them to be able, you want to be able to use it throughout the course, where it's something that you run through. You know, if it's a tagline, it's something you run through during the different modules you keep on coming back to. Discussing what Jennifer was saying, and to some extent what Chrissy was saying. One of the things that I'm working on right now is a formula that what is the problem, why you should care, what is the solution, and why are you uniquely qualified. And that may be able to bring some structure into why you were doing this course and why people should care about it. And also to go back on the point that you had made where they already paid their money. But one thing is you want to keep them actively engaged and to see all the modules, because as you do this over and over again, people are going to be reviewing your course. And you don't want reviews out there that said, well, yeah, I watched 2 modules and then I gave up on the course. You want to be able to keep them engaged throughout the whole course, and then encourage them to write in reviews so that you can use it for marketing place, and those reviews are your testimonials. So when you go through and do your marketing on future courses, you can just take those reviews, and those reviews are actually testimonials. I do agree with Jennifer that you need to have more pictures in there, even if it was something different than a white background. And I have seen you progress between the whiteboards to where you are right now. And where you are right now is so much better than where you are. But I think the next baby step on this is just to even have a different background on there. Take take a different slide, put it on really low transparency so that you can barely see it on the back, if that makes you more comfortable. And then over time, start reducing the amount of your bullet points so that it's just only, a word or one line on there. So I realized that was a lot, but
That was great.
okay.
You got it all on tape.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Alejandro?
That's fantastic.
Steve, I like the content. One of the things that I found personally is that when you're doing something online and the people only listen to your voice, then the engagement not only comes, from making the slides more engaging and better visually so people can follow and they're willing to follow more, but is the way that we speak and the tone of voice.
Yes.
And not only that, but were you reading a script?
No, I was just.
You were just okay. Make that more conversational. More, because the way that we engage is by engaging the people in a conversation. So sometimes ask rhetorical questions. So people can think a little bit more of what you're saying. But try to stay away from that kind of when you are in the hospital and you have that flat line, beep, 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 all the same.
Yeah.
Try to make it, and if you're excited, I know that you are excited about that. It says, hey, listen, and just get excited. It does, because that, when you're listening to it, oh my goodness, that, and if you're reading a book, for instance, you know that sometimes you read a book and you finish the first chapter and the second chapter, and you said, okay, well, that's enough. You put it back. But there are some other books that you start reading, you get to the end of the first chapter, and the last sentence of that chapter says, I am tired, but I have to go to the second chapter because I have to keep
You
going.
need to have him do your.
And see what happens. And then the end of the second chapter, he goes, oh, but I am definitely, but I have to go to the third chapter. And then you have to go to the end.
Was a preacher in a.
Because I mean, so that's the kind of engagement with people, but that's going to keep them going all the way through the 6, and then they're going to ask, is there a 7th and an 8th, and where do I get more? Because they're bought into it.
Yeah.
But
Excellent.
great content.
Reminds me of watching Netflix.
Yeah.
You can't wait to watch the
Okay.
Yeah.
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 Just for sake of time, obviously I'm the neophyte in the room. I agree with everything that's been said. What I enjoy is your passion. You have
Yes.
passion for
Yeah.
this. So just connect with that, because I actually thought you were reading a script.
Mhm.
So you were
I did
ad-libbing,
too.
because this stuff is inside of you.
Yes.
But what we need is, you need to picture that person whose life you're changing. And you need to tell them how important it is that they do this. This is urgent. This is life-threatening. This is staffed. You need this staffed. This is DEFCON level 5. So it is that type of urgency we need to hear in your voice, because obviously you're passionate. The other thing I'll share with you is that I've gotten this feedback too. You're too cerebral. You're too much information. Like, what do you mean there's too much information? This is the information you need.
Right.
So it's like, what do? I can't tone it down for people, but we're, myself included, that was too much for me. That was too much for me. So how can we bullet point it? How can we give it to us in the smallest dose possible that we get it? So instead of reading your points, and one of the things I actually love this last thing. It does need to be more concise, but I love the fact that this is about the world. If my energy is good, I can change the world, and Lord knows we need it right now. So if you can change the world. You can talk a little bit about how you're going to do that. So let your verbiage come into some of that, but just get rid of all that. Pictures are good, look at materials on the slides, and let the audience respond to you. Pausing is a great key. How would you feel if? Listen. And that's it. Great job.
Yeah, that's a good one right there. I mean, listen to what she said too. If I could change, if my energy was coherent, I can change the world. And if I can't change the world, maybe I can change one person, and that ripple can change the world.
That's right.
I mean, what she said was really profound. That was really, really good. I hope you listen to that and incorporate it.
Salesman, thank you so much.
So Steve, one more thing on that. You had the globe at the beginning. I see you
Yes.
can end with that.
Yeah.
Save the world part till the end. Sorry, Steve, because you can't connect to it at the beginning. So put the world at the end, and that'll be. So by you changing.
That's why I did this today, because I knew I'd get the feedback I needed to.
And you put it to use too, which is
Another
good.
level.
You're gonna